Hi Leo, welcome to your December 2019 general tarot reading. It's Rena here. So when I did my videos yesterday, what happened was I did a whole bunch in a row. And the reason that I did that was because there's a lot of leaf blower activity these days because we had an early snow. The leaves hadn't fallen yet. We had some crazy weather. And so there were a lot of, I was afraid that I was not going to be able to do it at all in a timely manner. So I just was cranking them out, and that happens sometimes when you just keep going like that. So I figured the best thing to do would just to do it all over again. So you get a bonus reading if you already watched the first one. But it was intended for Leo. Even if I mentioned astrological influences, that has nothing to do with the true tarot reading. You know, astrology and the tarot intersect, but they're not the same thing. You know, that's definitely the case. So this will be just a pure Leo intentional reading. And I put up a Leo love reading using the Ethereal Tarot. Ethereal Visions, I think it's called. What's it called? Last night also. Yeah, Ethereal Visions. So you can check that out if you're interested. Okay. All right. The heart of the matter is the Two of Pentacles. This is a card of perhaps working two jobs at the same time. You see the water in the background. There's also a interpretation that it could be a job offer overseas, over a body of water. You could be really busy with, juggling your life. Maybe you're juggling school and work, and you're just trying to do both, or taking care of somebody at the same time that you're working full time. And it's very hectic. Of course, December can be very hectic anyway for people. But this has a component of Pentacles. We even have in the past position Pentacles. It makes me think of having your own business and juggling a day job. Because we have here Nine of Pentacles. The woman is eating grapes. It shows that kind of, I call it FU money. Well, you know, people, I didn't invent that term. But having independent means, in other words, the person isn't desperate. So sometimes the Two of Pentacles can actually be that the person is very spread thin, financially, that they really can't hack it and stuff like that with one job. So they have to work two jobs, or they're paying bills 1 month for the electric, and then, they don't pay the gas bill until 2 months later, that kind of thing. And I remember those days too, when, you, oh boy, those were the days, well, before the internet, going to the currency exchange. Oh boy. Glad those days are over with. So the point is that I think you're trying to launch a business. Now, obviously, this is a general reading, and some of you are saying, what are you talking about? But in that vein of being financially independent, maybe having to make a choice about something. Twos can be about making a choice, And I do see a couple cards almost like whether or not to be a stay-at-home mother. For Leo, this would be very difficult, I think, in many ways, even though you love children. You're just too, I don't know, maybe there would be some Leos that could do it, but you're very extroverted, and I think you need that stimulation from the outer world. You know how some parents, I'm not going to just say women, because some men stay home too, but some parents will say, oh, this is so hard because, I feel like I'm isolated. And a lot of people do. I think that if I had been a mother, I would have just loved it. You know what I mean? I would have stayed home with my child if I would have been a mother, because I just think that I'm not really interested in that type of life, of the outer life. But some people are, and you might be one of those people. So you feel, it almost feels like it would be a loss to you. And that's why you're kind of nervous about it. The higher message is the Queen of Wands. This kind of goes along with what I'm saying. Now, this can be the career mother, the working mother. It's funny, see the sunflower, you're ruled by the sun, but this is supposed to be Sagittarius. You tell me why. I mean, I've seen this imagery on other cards. I'm sure the Rider-Waite has this. But it's fire energy. Fire energy is masculine. Masculine energy wants that external expression of its energy. So it wants to reach the masses. So if any of you are in that dilemma where you're not sure whether you should stay home with your child, or you might be considering having a child but you're not sure, the thing that I would say is, can you do it from home? Because if you can do it from home, that's the best thing. Then you can have the best of both worlds, and especially if you have the money to do it. Some people have children and they would rather stay home. They'd love the luxury of staying home, but they just simply can't afford it. And that's a totally different scenario than what I'm presenting here, because the Nine of Pentacles is financially, it's not just about financially solvent, it's self-supporting, able to support oneself. What crosses you is the King of Cups. Now, this could be, maybe this is a water sign male, older, or old school. Okay, so Cancer, Scorpio, or Pisces. You always are drawn to Scorpio. Let's face it, admit it. You are, and this person may feel like what you're doing is wrong. That there shouldn't even be a decision. I mean, that there shouldn't even be any kind of a debate about it. I would say that they are traditional or old-fashioned. Cancer, Scorpio especially. And all of the water sign males, that they're more traditional men, and they will want you to stay at home with your child. Maybe they have their own issues too, and you're afraid that you're going to have to wear the pants in the family, that they are not acting like the breadwinner, the one that, because that's one of those things that sometimes a Leo woman, if she's with a man, might experience, where it's like, who wears the pants in the family? If you're with either an earth sign or a water sign in this case, especially, there may be this sense of you being the dominant one, and that person may feel that they are not a real man, because of your behavior, which is, of course, silly, but you have to check yourself in terms of how you address whatever this issue is. So I just get the feeling that it has something to do with motherhood, or if you're not interested in that, or if you have gotten to a stage where that is no longer something that is on the table for you, then it can be an issue of like, it's funny because of the career, like how much is it like you need to work. With the Nine of Pentacles, I'm even wondering if some of you are coming out of retirement, and perhaps you retired early, or you did something, because it's like you have the money, and so there has to be something that you're debating, unless it's about working far away from home and your spouse doesn't like it. Well, that's not unreasonable. Even if you're a woman and he's a man, and you feel like he's trying to thwart your career, if he's generally supportive, but it's because of the distance, then you should certainly hear him out, and you should not just dismiss it on, as trying to control you, because it shows that he misses you and he doesn't want you to be away from him. So it's kind of like, it's not like a clear-cut decision. However, I will say that in some cases, this King of Cups may have issues himself. He may have a drinking problem. He may have an emotional problem where he's too dependent on you, almost like a child with his mother, okay? And you may feel like he's looking to you in that role rather than as a spouse. Well, you know what? Even if that's the case, I don't think there's anything truly wrong with that. I think that we kind of look to our partners for different things at different times. And as long as you're not totally enabling him so that he's not living a very responsible life for himself, but if he's just looking for that emotional support, I don't know. But it's something, obviously, that you might have to make a decision about, whether you're going to do this thing, whatever this thing is. Oh, this is funny. The Seven of Swords, what's coming in, I'm laughing because it's kind of like slinking away into the night. Like, I'm getting out of here with this guy. This can be like doing your own thing. You might say, okay, that's nice, but I'm not here to be your mother. I was thinking, I saw this video the other day, some song by Jennifer Lopez where she says, I'm not your mama. That might be, I do believe that if you have like a very, like a once in a lifetime opportunity, that you definitely have to go for it. If the only objection is that somebody feels like you're not going to be there for them, because a truly supportive partner would be cheering you on. And, if it's about the two of you being apart, maybe that person can join you, unless they have work obligations here, I guess. The other thing with the Seven of Swords is that it's about kind of like maybe detaching. This is how I see it, detaching and kind of being by yourself, maybe to plan how you're going to do what you're about to do. And, so that it's in a way that is the least disruptive to all concerned. If you are thinking about having children, you might be trying to decide like the logistics of it. The outcome card is the Queen of Cups. This is more of an intuitive thing. So the swords relate to logic, kind of that sense. And this is like maybe going with your gut and deciding something from the point of view of what really feels good. This would definitely be, if you're trying to think about having children, of deciding to, maybe even conceiving, because this is double water energy, which I'm sure is very fertile, and feminine. See, feminine. And with the Queen of Wands, we have the feminine and the masculine. I said feminine. And yeah, maybe I could call it feminine. The combination of feminine and masculine. And that is kind of like when you have a card like the Queen of Wands, it naturally creates a bit of a conflict, because, or a clash, you know, because you have two elements that are kind of duking it out, water and fire. And, you know, water puts out fire, and fire dries out water. This is one of the reasons why these two elements sometimes do have a hard time getting along, because they don't really work cooperatively the way that water and earth do, or the way that you could say fire and air do. I remember a man that I met years ago, and I am a fire sign, a Sagittarian, and he was a Libra. And I think the first day I met him, he said, you know, air feeds fire. And I always remember that, and I loved hearing that. And so anyway, that's what I have for you, Leo. Boy, that was kind of unusual how I ended that reading. You know what's best. You know what's in your heart. And you can do it. So, I hope you have a great December. If you would like a personal reading, the link to my online store is below this video. Take care. Bye.